Hello guys, you are with Vikas here. Welcome to the wonderful session of English. Today we'll see the most awaited topic, that is tense. This is basically time and tense. We'll start with that one. So guys, you know very well that there are three types of tense, that is present, past and future tense. And each tense has four types, that is indefinite, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. So each tense has these four types. Means what? We have to study present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. Similarly past and future. So we'll start with present indefinite and present continuous tense simultaneously. We'll see. First of all, we'll see present indefinite tense. And here present continuous tense. We'll see it simultaneously. Firstly, we'll know the structure of present indefinite tense and present continuous tense. See, there are two categories in present indefinite tense. Two categories of what? Sentence. We know very well the sentence is basically affirmative sentence, and the second category is negative and interrogative sentence. What happens in present indefinite, in affirmative sentence, we use two types of verb, that is V1 and V5. And you know very well V5 is what? S or ES form. V1 is basically considered a plural verb and V5 is considered a singular verb. Okay? But what is the use of V1 and V5? See here. V1 is basically used with I, we, they, you and a plural number. And V5 is basically used with he, she, it, any name and singular number. It means what? Whenever we use any sentence in present indefinite tense and if it is affirmative, we go for two types of verb, that are V1 and V5. What happens in negative and interrogative sentence? Here we take the help of a helping verb. Helping verb, we use do and does. It means what? Whenever we use do and does, they are used only in negative and interrogative sentence. Do is again considered a plural verb and does is considered a singular verb. So we use do with I, we, they, you and plural number, and we use does with he, she, it, name and a singular number. So these are basic things, that whenever we use affirmative we go for V1 and V5 and negative interrogative we go for do and does. But what happens in present continuous tense? In present continuous tense we don't have any category of sentences like in present indefinite tense. It has it has three helping verbs. Helping verb is am and are. Is basically used with any singular noun or singular number, and we use with he, she, it and any name. Am is used with I. Are is considered a plural verb, so goes with plural number, and we, they and you. See one thing, whenever we use is, am, are, we use only V4. What is V4? The ing form of a verb. Okay, you have to keep on your mind. And whenever we use do, does in present indefinite tense, we use only the first form of the verb. So these are basically the structure of present indefinite and present continuous tense. But the now question arises that, sir, where, in which condition, and what is the use of present indefinite and continuous tense, and what is the basic difference between indefinite and continuous tense? We'll see it now. Present indefinite tense and present continuous tense. The basic difference is that present indefinite is basically used to show any action that is permanent at present. I am writing here. Permanent action. We can also use for habitual action. We can also use for repeated action. I mean, whatever we do in our day-to-day life, which is our habit, or we can say which we do things repeatedly, or anything, any action which is permanent at present, that must be in present indefinite tense. Say for example, my habit is what? I read a newspaper early in the morning. So this is my habit. So I must use this sentence in present indefinite tense. For example, I read a newspaper. It might be my habit, it might be repeated. If I say the sun rises in the east, we have used V5, means what? This is present indefinite tense. It means what? This is a permanent action. This is not a temporary action. And we cannot say that this is, you can say, a habitual or repeated action. But we must say this is a permanent action. If I say I go to school, it means what? I don't go to school only for a single day. I go to school each and every day. So this is what? This is a repeated action. So I must write here, I go to school. So this is the use of present indefinite tense. Now, what is the basic difference between present indefinite tense and present continuous? If you have understood very well the use of present indefinite tense, it means what? Present continuous will be very easy. Why? Now we see. It shows what? It shows a temporary action. This is the only difference between present indefinite and continuous tense. Suppose if someone asks me, someone calls me right now, and if he says, what are you doing? What exactly he wants to know from me? He wants to know the current action, what exactly I am doing right now. It means what? He wants to know my temporary or permanent action. No, this is not permanent. He wants to know my temporary action. So I must say I am teaching English. Suppose one of my friends met me after a very long time. You can say after 10 years. And if he says to me, what are you doing or what do you do? He wants to know my temporary action or permanent action. Exactly. He wants to know my permanent action. So in that context, I should use I teach English. And if someone calls me and he wants to know what exactly I am doing right now, he wants to know my temporary action. So in that context, I must say I am teaching English. So this is the basic difference between present indefinite and present continuous tense. So I say I am teaching English. This shows what this is very temporary action. Now I am just giving you a sentence. You have to just find out whether the sentence is correct or not. That is, the sun is setting in the west. Now you tell me the sun is setting in the west means what? This is in present continuous tense, and we know that this is permanent action of the sun, that the sun always sets in the west. Like this one, the sun rises in the east is a temporary action. Similarly, this is also, this is a permanent action. Similarly, this is also a permanent action. So this sentence is completely wrong. We must write here, the sun sets in the west. This is the correct form. So I hope you have just gone through present indefinite and present continuous tense, and this is very easy tense. Now move to another point. We'll see present perfect tense and past indefinite tense. It is very easy tense, present perfect and past indefinite. I am writing two types of tenses only because you must not have any confusion between these two. Basically, the questions are asked that the sentence which must be in past indefinite tense are given in present perfect tense, and the sentence that must be in present perfect tense are given in past tense. So we must know the basic difference between these tenses. So firstly we'll see a helping verb. Helping verb. We know very well has and have. Have is basically plural verb and we use it with I, we, they, you and a plural number. And has is a singular verb, so we use it with he, she, it, name and a singular number. See, whenever we use has and have, we must use the third form of a verb. You have to keep it on your mind. Once a question was asked, he has took the responsibility. Now you tell me, is it correct? Not at all, because we know has always takes what? The third form of a verb, and this is the second form of a verb. So we must write here has taken the responsibility. Okay, see, this is the structure of present perfect. Now move to past indefinite tense. Like present indefinite tense, in present indefinite tense we had two categories of sentences, affirmative and negative and interrogative. Similarly, it has also two categories, that is affirmative and the second one is negative and interrogative. What happens? We use only the second form in affirmative sentence, and this second form goes with each and every subject like I, we, they, you, he, she, it, singular, plural, each and everything. But in negative sentence we use a helping verb, that is did. And this is the most important point, that whenever we use did, we must use the first form of a verb. This is the most important point. Why? See some examples. I did not got you. We say in our day-to-day life, we speak like this one, I did not got you. We also say, I did not said that. Now you tell me whether these sentences are correct or not. Absolutely, they are not correct, because we know after did we have to use the first form of the verb, so it should be get, and did, and here it is said. This is the second form of a verb, so again it should be see. So these are the structures of present perfect and past indefinite. Now we'll see the use. We'll see the use of present perfect and past indefinite tense. What is the use of present perfect and past indefinite tense? It is very easy tense. Present perfect, it tells recent action. Recent action, and it tells a completed action in the past. One more thing I would like to write here. It is an effect oriented tense, while this is a time oriented tense. This is the only thing. What happens whenever we do any action in the past? We have two things to show. That is, either I show the effect of that action, one thing, and the second thing is I want to show the time of that action. Means what? If two actions are in the past, I will show either time or effect. If I want to show the time of that action, it should be past indefinite tense. And if I want to show the effect of that action, it would be present perfect tense. Say for example, suppose I have just eaten food, okay, and now my stomach is completely full. So the effect of that food is still there. So what should I write here? I have eaten food. Means what? This action has been done recently. That I have eaten food means my stomach is full. But if what happens if I see I eat food? Means what? A completed action in the past. Means this action was completely done in the past. Means we don't have any effect of that food. It means I can say I am hungry now. In this sentence, I ate food. I have completed. But in this sentence, I have eaten food. Means whatever I have just eaten, the effect of that food is still in my stomach. So in this sentence, I am hungry. But in this sentence, I am not hungry. Okay? Very good. Now, I can also say this one. This is an effect. The effect of eating food is still there, and the effect, because this is not an effect oriented tense, it shows simply what? Completed action. If I want to show any past time, it must go with only past indefinite tense. For example, I have met my friend in 1990. Now you tell me 1919 is a past time, and we know present perfect is not a time oriented tense. Time oriented tense is what? Past indefinite. So this sentence is completely wrong. It should be, and this is the second form. I met my friend in 1990. I'm just giving you another example which was asked in your examination. I have seen him yesterday. Again, once again, yesterday is also a past time, and a past time is always used in past indefinite. So the sentence is wrong because this is a present perfect tense. So it should be I saw him yesterday. So we can say present perfect is basically an effect oriented tense and past indefinite is a time oriented tense. So this is all about present perfect and past indefinite indefinite tense. Now move to another point. We'll see present perfect continuous tense, and here past perfect continuous tense. Once again, this is a very easy sentence. We'll see. First of all, we'll see the structure of these tenses. Here we use has, have, then we have to use been, then we have to use V4. And here we use had, been plus V4. You know, V4 means ing form. Okay. What is the use of these two tenses? I'm just drawing a graph. This is what present, this is what future, and this is what past. Here also, this is present, this is future, and this is past. See, an action was done in the past. Here again, an action was done in the past. This action continued for some time in the past. Action was started, continued for some time in the past, and at present it is still continuing. Okay, but what happens here? An action was started in the past, continued for some time, then it stopped. Now it is not continuing. This is the only difference between present perfect continuous tense and past perfect continuous tense. If I tell you I have been teaching English, means what? I have started teaching English in the past. I taught English for some time in the past, and still I am teaching English right now at present. It means what? I must say I have been teaching English. But what happens if I say I had been teaching English? I had been teaching English means what? I had started teaching English in the past, continued for some time. I taught English for some time in the past, and then I stopped teaching. Right now, I am not teaching in English. Okay, so this is the basic difference, that in this context, the action is still going on, and in this tense, the action is not going on at present. So this is the very clear difference. I hope you are just getting me what I am just trying to tell you. Okay, suppose I say I have been living Delhi for you can say 10 years. So, but right now I am in Delhi, but earlier I was in Ranchi. Say for example, what should I say? I have been living in Delhi means what? Still I am living in Delhi. like this one, I have been living in Delhi. But what should I say? I had been living in Ranchi. I had been living in Ranchi means what? Currently, I am not living in Ranchi. So this is the basic difference. I am writing some examples. I have been teaching English. Means what? Currently I am teaching. If I say I had been teaching English, means what? Currently I am not teaching English. Okay. One more thing we'll see here. What is the use of since and for? See, two things. I'm writing here. It's very easy. Since and for. In this sentence, I have only told you that I have been teaching English from very past till date. And in this sentence, I have just told you that I used to teach English, but currently I am not teaching English. But what happens if I want to show the time when I started teaching, or up to which time or which period I have taught English in the past? So there are basically two times. Initial time, I can say initial means starting time. I mean this, when this action was started. And the second time is the period of this time. I mean for how many hours, how many days, how many years I have taught. So two times, firstly initial point or starting point, secondly period of time means what? A duration of time. Two times are there. So for showing initial point, we go for since, and for showing period of time, we go for since. Suppose I have to say that I have been teaching English, suppose from you can say 2010. So 2010 is what? An initial point. I just don't want to show you period, or you can say the length of that time. So I must write here, I have been teaching since 2010. 2010 is what? A starting point. And what happens if I want to show the length, period? So I must write here, I have been teaching for 10 years. So this is the basic difference between, you can say, since and for. It is not mandatory. Some guys misunderstood that whenever we use any perfect continuous tense, we must use since or for, but this is not mandatory. If you want to show time in the sentence, you must go for since or for. But if you don't want to show time, like this sentence, I have been teaching English, I don't want to show the time, whether it was initial time or period of time, then there is no need to use since or for. But whenever we go for any time, we must use, and we bifurcate whether it is period of time or initial time. So I hope you just got it, each and everything. Now move to another point. We'll see past continuous tense. In past continuous tense, we have a helping verb, that is was and were. It is very easy. I know you know it very well. Was is a singular verb and were is a plural verb. So it goes with I, he, she, it, name, and a singular number. And were goes with we, they, you, and plural number. Okay, so basically whenever we use was and were, we must use V4. V4 means what? The ing form. But what this tense tells you, it is once again very easy, and directly questions are generally not asked from this tense, because this is considered a very easy tense, you can say. We'll compare this tense with the present continuous tense. I hope you remember in present continuous tense what we wanted to show there, that any temporary action at present must be in present continuous tense. Similarly, any temporary action in the past must be in past continuous tense. Suppose I say, when I saw him last, I'm talking about my friend, when I saw him last, he was running behind a bus. It means what? At the time of speaking or at the time of watching, I saw that action was going on. It doesn't mean that my friend was running at that time and still he is running. It's not that. I saw that point of time that he was running. So at that running was a temporary or permanent? That was a very temporary action. I must say, when I reached home, I saw children were sleeping. Children were sleeping means what? They were sleeping for a very short period of time. They are not sleeping from that point of time till date. Not exactly. So the basic thing is that whenever we want to show temporary action at present, it goes with present continuous tense. And if I want to show the temporary action in the past, it goes with past continuous tense. It is very easy. I must write, when I saw him last, he was running behind a bus, because it was very temporary action. If I say, I was reading a magazine in my room, it means what? My reading magazine was very temporary, not for permanent. So this is very easy tense. This is all about present continuous tense. Now move to past perfect tense, is one of the most important tense in all the tenses. Now we'll see. Past perfect tense. It is very interesting tense, We'll see how it is interesting. First of all, we'll see a helping verb. A helping verb. We use had. Had goes with each and every, you can say, subject. I, we, they, you, he, she, it, name, singular, plural, for each and every subject. So whenever we use had, we must use the third form of a verb. Once again, I am just going to draw a graph. It will be very interesting. This is present, this is what? Future, and this is what? Past. An action was done in the past. Action. It was done in the past, and just before this action, another action was done. So if I ask you which one of these two actions was done firstly, I know you very well that this is the first action and this is the second action. I just want to show you two actions when take place simultaneously, what happens, because the maximum number of questions are asked from only this point, that you are just given a sentence including two actions and both actions were done in the past. For example, if we have two actions in the past, we can easily bifurcate that which action was done firstly and which action was done secondly. the second action is always written in past indefinite tense, and action 1 is always written in past perfect tense. You know, past indefinite V2, or if it is negative or interrogative, we go for did. Say for example, this is a very, you can say, famous sentence. I'm just going to teach you. It is famous nationally in our country, not in the world. I must hope you might have heard, डॉक्टर के आने से पहले रोगी मर चुका था, मेरे स्टेशन पहुंचने के पहले गाड़ी चली गई थी. You consider two actions were done. डॉक्टर के आने से पहले रोगी मर चुका था. You tell me which action was firstly done? डॉक्टर का आना या रोगी का मरना? Yes, absolutely. रोगी मर चुका था. This was the first action. और तब डॉक्टर आया. So I should write रोगी मर चुका था means what? The action 1, it should be written in past perfect, means what? The patient had died before the doctor came. You see here, we have two actions. The patient had died and the doctor came. This is what? This is action number 2 and this is action number 1. Not exactly the action number 1. We can say this action was done firstly and later on this action was done. So this is action number 2, means what? It was done just after. So the first action must be written in present perfect and the second one is in past indefinite. One more example. When I reached station, okay, the train had departed from the platform. Again, we have two actions. First one is when I reached station. Okay, when I reached station, just before this one, what action was done? The train had departed. So we can say both actions were done in the past and the first action was the train had departed. That's why we have put it in past perfect tense and this is in past indefinite tense. So this is all about past perfect tense. Now move to another tense. Future indefinite tense, future continuous tense and future perfect tense. See guys, basically what happens, we have three tenses but we don't have to study future perfect continuous tense because this is not basically used in our day-to-day life and not a single question is asked from that tense. So we don't waste time. We must study only future indefinite, future continuous and future perfect tense. So firstly I must write here the structure of these tenses. There is a helping verb, that is I write here shall and will. Shall is basically used for I and we and will goes with you, it, name, singular number, plural number and we can also write here they. Okay, and whenever we use shall and will, generally we use the first form of the verb but there is a little variation. We'll see it very soon. What happens in future indefinite tense? It tells an action will take place once in the future. Only once the action will take place in the future will be in in future indefinite tense. But what happens in future continuous tense? An action will be continuing in the future. Means what? Suppose I say I'll see you. I'll see you means what? I'll see you only once in the future. And what happens? I say I'll be seeing you means what? I'll meet you regularly in the future. Means what? My meeting will be continuous process in the future. So it tells what? Future continuous tense. But what happens in future perfect tense? See what happens. We are studying English and mathematics. So many subjects are there. And when our fathers ask, "Beta नौकरी कब मिलेगी?" we say simply that 2021 तक मिल जाएगी. So what I want to tell, that I assured my father that at a particular point of time in the future I'll be able to get a job. So in this context I want to show that in the future at a very particular point of time, if there is a possibility of doing an action, must goes with future perfect tense. I'm just writing it. It's an action will have been completed at a certain point of time in the future. Okay, this is all about future perfect tense. At a certain point of time in the future, an action will have been simply completed. Okay, so now we'll see structure. In this sentence, tense, we use simply shall, will plus V1. Say for example, I shall write a book. Means what? This action will take place only once in the future. But what happens if I say future continuous? The structure will be shall, will plus be plus V4 means what? The ing form of a verb. If I say I shall be teaching you English means what? The process of teaching English will be continued in the future. That's why it is in future continuous tense. It's very easy. Now we'll see future perfect tense. In this tense, we use shall, will, have plus V3. Shall, will, have plus V3. I'm writing it once again. Shall, will, have plus V3. One thing that you have to keep on your mind, that at a certain point of time, if I want to show this time, that up to which time or at what time a single action will have been completed, to show that time, I must use till or by then time. I'm just giving you an example. I shall have finished my task by evening. So in this sentence, what I have done? I have used a structure shall have plus V3, and I have also showed a time, that is by evening. You can also write till evening. If I say I shall have got a I shall have got a job by 2021. Again, in this sentence, I have used shall have plus V3, and then I have used a time with the help of by. You can also write here till. So there is no any basic difference between till and by. So this is all about tense, and I hope you have understood it very well. Now the thing is that you have to just memorize and revise all the things whatever I have just told you, and I request you, whatever you have just doubt, you can ask me. And thank you very much for listening to me. So keep learning and keep smiling. Thanks a lot.